Listen up. I'm going to tell you why I am completely obsessed with Brunt. I've worn a lot of work boots in my life, and I'll tell you this, before Brunt, my feet were destroyed. I could not wait to get my work boots off. Then, I tried a pair of Brunt boots. Let me tell you, it was relaxing. Right out of the box, these things were ready to go. There was no break-in. There was no blisters. Right away, they fit so we could work. Comfort meets protection, meets durability, all in one. And these are not just any boots. These babies are built for the job site. Slip resistant, heat resistant, waterproof. They got it all. They are even electrical hazard rated. Whether you're rocking the Marin with its 6-inch soft toe, total powerhouse, or the Omen, lightweight, water resistant with all the features you need. I'm telling you, you're gonna get boots as comfortable as your sneakers, but as durable as real work requires. Over 500,000 folks have already joined the Brunt crew, trying them on the job risk-free with free shipping. Guys, check them out, but don't wait, because they're going fast for the holidays, and the holidays are right around the corner. Limited edition styles are dropping all month, and they're gonna sell fast. Treat yourself or the hardworking man in your life to something built to last. And hey, all my listeners get $10 off using code Chael at checkout. That's bruntworkwear.com. Use code Chael to get $10 off. Get yours today and let them know the bad guy sent you. Francis Ngannou did an interview with Ariel, and it was somewhat compelling. Francis had made news about 2 weeks ago. And it was a story that somewhere with a negotiation with the UFC, Francis got physical. You know, he grabbed somebody. Didn't hurt him, but great big guy. And he somewhere had touched to a degree during this negotiation. And Ariel asked him about it. Hey, did you put your hands? It's 2 times specifically, one with Hunter Campbell and one with Dana White. Did you put your hands on these guys in a negotiation? And Francis responded and said the best one to answer that question would be Dana. Which is not saying no. It is not a denial. And I appreciate that with Francis. I really do. Whether he gives a clear answer or not, I appreciate that he didn't lie. Whatever happened, happened. So I'm watching this interview, and Francis is talking about the PFL and the fact that his contract is coming to an end. And he was insinuating, he did what we call in professional wrestling, go into business for himself. Going into business for yourself is where you've got a script, but they're going to put you on live. So if you were to not follow the script because you think you have something better, it's a very risky game, and many times you'll come through the curtain and Vince McMahon, sitting at what's known as gorilla position, will fire you. But if it works, a star can be born. And Stone Cold Steve Austin did that the night he created Austin 316. He had a script. He went into business for himself. He said, Austin 316 says, I just whipped your ass. Now, that might sound small to you now, and that might be a 3-letter word, but this was extremely prohibited at that time. The word ass was the dirtiest thing that you had heard, particularly in professional wrestling prior to the Attitude Era, because you're making you're living on 12-year-old kids and 12-year-old kids that beg mom and dad to take them to the show. That was the entire business. And Vince was pissed and did not think that this was going to work. Didn't even know how he's going to handle Austin. He was so mad. Didn't know if he's going to put him on TV the very next night. The very next night was Raw. Austin did this at a pay-per-view that was a Sunday. The next night was Raw. They get to the arena. People are holding signs that say Austin 316. And everybody around the world was watching on the outside chance that he was going to say the word ass. I was one of them, and I was in college, and we couldn't believe it. You know the things you see in college, right? This would be a small deal. It was a huge deal. That's called going into business for yourself. Francis goes on to Ariel, and he went into business for himself. He started talking about the PFL. He started insinuating that he would like to fight in the UFC. I think he had Jon Jones as the specific opponent, and he had the White House as the specific event. And he went on to say, my contract with the PFL will be up. And he made a comment, they owe me one more fight. And I don't know why he made that comment. What was the point on that? Because it wasn't a fight announcement. It wasn't, I'm going to watch Ferreira and Nemkov and be in the front row and face off and be ready to take on the winner. It wasn't a fight announcement at all. It wasn't, I think I'm going to be in the ring somewhere around February or March. It was, they owe me one more fight. I want to fight Jon Jones in the UFC on the White House. And so I was just wondering, is this an implication that you have an athlete that's read his contract, has come to an interpretation that they owe him a fight, and is getting ready to attempt to exercise that? Which is a very nice way of me saying he's going to sue them and demand a purse. Now, we just don't do that in this business. We just don't. Everybody works on a handshake, and they work from an idea that this is what we're going to try to do, but crap happens. I owe you 3 fights. I might get you 4. I might get you 2. We're going to be close, and we got a lot of things that got to come together, and let's go out there on good faith and do the best we can, shake hands, and you walk out the door. Francis did not say he was going to sue the PFL. Okay, I'm just sharing with you. What did he mean by they owe me one more fight? What did that mean? And the reason that perked my attention is I'm sitting back and going, okay, wait a minute. Was that a litigious statement? Because I don't think you're going to like how this goes if we tear into this contract. I don't think you're going to like how this goes with me being an outsider that doesn't really know a whole lot about his contract. But he's on Ariel's show talking about a different promotion. He's on Ariel's show calling out a potential fight in somebody else's promotion. I don't know what happened with that whole chairman and in Africa, but something happened and he didn't go. Maybe that wasn't written in the contract, but I have a feeling that it was. There's a spirit to those contracts, and just as an outsider that's looking in, I don't feel that spirit was upheld on Francis's side. I don't know why Francis wouldn't be specifically looking to the Nemkov fight. And you must understand, he may have no intent to fight Nemkov. He's on Ariel's program. He could have alluded to an intent to wanting to fight Nemkov just to bring attention to Nemkov versus Ferreira. Just to be a team player. As a member of the board would do. So I don't know what he meant by they owe me one more fight. I can't begin to explain to you how much I despise the attitude they owe me. I cannot possibly express to you. I'm an outsider. I was at the event when Surreal fought Francis. This was a disaster. This was one of the great underhanded moves in the history of MMA. What these two had, the opportunity and story that they had, and they botched. Turned into a regular pay-per-view event. Should have been the biggest fight in heavyweight history. It had the single greatest storyline in heavyweight history, better than anything that Brock Lesnar ever had an opportunity to do. All right. Go to the press conference. Francis looks like $1 million. He's got this beautiful suit on. He's wearing the sunglasses, right? Like sunglasses Francis is a pretty cool looking character. Francis he looked beautiful. But he starts to say, I'm not happy with my contract, and I don't know what's going to happen. So I was there. I kind of watched this whole thing unravel. You have the PFL slide in, and the PFL paid a very exorbitant amount of money. Now, I come to the conclusion that it's exorbitant because I believe in the principle, right, in the world of capitalism, that you got to pay more than the next guy, and there was no next guy. So to give a multi-million-dollar signing bonus on a multi-million-dollar contract with having no opponent, and I felt like there should have been a gratitude, right? I have no standing in the matter, but if I'm to be fair with you guys, maybe it's jealousy. I'm sure there's a little bit of envy involved there, but I felt like there should have been a gratitude. And I even felt that was what was missed at the UFC, was an appreciation. It's like, hey man, you're sitting here complaining about your pay. We just stuck you in a fight and paid $10 million to give you the opportunity, and we brought over Ciryl Gane, who's your former training partner. You had an incredible story to tell, and you didn't do it. You did not do it, and we're left holding the bag. You want to talk about you only got $600,000, bro? You cost us an additional $600,000. That's what your purse was. Your purse was an additional loss by us. All right. You get over to the PFL and they give them a carve-out. Now, a carve-out is not even a term that 99.9999% of fighters will ever have heard because you don't get them in our industry. And a carve-out is where you've got a contract that's got to be honored by both sides, but they carved something out. They took something out, and you're just free, and that was where the boxing element came, which was what a $10 million for Fury, and then there was rumors of $15 million to fight Joshua. So, but I just share with you, those things don't exist without the carve out and without the working and the good faith, the effort that, hey, we're going to look after you. We understand your wishes and your desires to do two different sports, and we're gonna get behind that and have you do it. In exchange, whatever attention we can get over there, we're gonna pull back over here and transfer it to MMA, and we're all gonna go in together. And the idea of they owe me another fight. That concept is fascinating to me. And very badly, I want Dana White to get involved. Say, okay, you guys have been wanting to do a co-promote, we're going to do one. I'm going to send you my guy. I'm going to do a deal with a young man named Gable Steveson. He will be under contract with the Ultimate Fighting Championship, and I am going to loan him out to you guys to face Francis. That's what I want. I think it's a great move. I think it's a compelling match. That's a wish list. That's a desire. And you wouldn't have to have Dana. You wouldn't have to have Dana come in and step in and do that. I'm making a suggestion for you to get the money to make these things happen and to help grease these wheels and push it through and have it make sense for everybody. Look, the PFL could just go get Gable all on their own. There's different ways to do it, but I don't come off the idea. I'm not looking at Nemkov. I'm not looking at a rematch with Ferreira. I'm not looking at Deontay Wilder and we're going to box for a round, then we're going to do MMA a round, then we're going to tickle each other's balls. I don't get the whole thing. We got a guy. You got a guy. You're a great big heavyweight. Gable's a great big heavyweight. You won some championships. Gable's won some championships. That's the fight I want. Gable's available. Gable is 100% available and will do the fight. There is no idea that you're going to produce for me, and please don't try to tell me, Nemkov. I'm friends with Nemkov. This is not a put down Nemkov. I'm a big believer. Love Nemkov. There's one guy. There is one guy in all of MMA for Francis to fight right now. His name is Gable Steveson. You make the fight or you don't. But when you have a guy talking about you owe me, he's now putting a gun in your face, and he did it publicly. He did it through the media. Fine. You go on Ariel's show, and you tell this guy that says he's owed and wants something that you're going to give it to him. And by the way, its name is Gable Steveson.